Hi guys, I'm Jennifer Almaguer, and today I want to talk about what you end up attracting when you have unhealed abandonment wounds and you don't know your worth. Maybe you grew up in a home or an environment where they never told you your worth, and maybe you saw things that people in the world see as normal, which is not telling the truth, and dysfunctional relationships, and maybe you saw and felt things that were normal as a kid, but you grow up and you realize that that's really not normal and that is not okay, and you end up seeking and attracting the same things you did that were really bad for you growing up. And have you noticed that maybe you have been attracting narcissistic people because the enemy knows that that is your weak spot, that is your vulnerable spot. That is why we must become whole and complete. And we are all born with a hole where only God is destined to fill. And if we don't know God and we have all this trauma, all of these strongholds, strongholds are not just things that bother you and that hurt you, but they are trauma, that they have been traumatic events that have shaped your blueprint. They have shaped who you are and how you feel about yourself and what you believe about yourself and what you have normalized in the world. Even if it's dysfunctional, it has created a really bad reality for you, and you have perhaps faced toxic bad relationship after bad toxic relationship, and you don't know why, you don't know what it is about you. I see so many people that are so disheartened in the world. They're like, I'm never gonna date anymore, it's all just a bunch of trash out there, there's nothing good out there. I feel so sad about that because there are so many good people out there. And what I've come to realize is that you attract what you need. So let me explain. I'm not saying that you need a narcissist in your life. You need to be whole and complete, right? What is the lesson when a narcissist comes into your life, swindles you, makes you believe that they are committed to you, that they love you, that they want a life with you, but it's really they are there for their own selfish gain. They are very insecure people, and will just take, they will throw money at you, they will buy you stuff, they will do the bare minimum to keep you around, to show you that they do care and that they do have feelings for you. And when you walk out of their life, they say that they miss you, but they don't really miss you. They miss what you provided for them. Maybe you made them look good in public. Maybe you provided comforts that they weren't getting anywhere else. But they don't miss you. They don't miss your heart. They don't miss your presence. They don't miss your soul. They just miss what you provided for them. And it's a very sad situation to be caught up in, because these type of people, they ruin your heart, they take away your innocence, they take away your purity, and they convince you that they're in it for the right reasons, but they're really not. That's why you've got to look at the fruit of the spirit versus the acts of the flesh. How is this person behaving? But I don't want to get too off track on that. That is in Galatians, you can look that up. That has been my guide into analyzing people, because when you are raised in trauma and you are raised where you have a fear of abandonment, and maybe there's narcissism in your family line, and you are now have been called to break the chains, the generational curses in your family. Know that you have such a big task, but you have been chosen to break this cycle. This is amazing. God chose you because He knows that you are the one that's going to change it, and He knows that you are strong enough to change it, and you are going to rise above all of this, and you're going to change the future, your future lineage. And this is so amazing. Your future lineage is going to reap the benefits of what you are doing. You are also going to reap the benefits while you're here, while you're living. And so narcissistic people come into your life to push you into knowing your worth. You pushes you to drawing your boundaries, to even knowing what boundaries are, teaching you how to stop people pleasing, teaching you how to not be afraid to speak up, and not be afraid to say no, and not be afraid to say get out. It's and guys, I'm telling you guys this from experience, because and a lot of this, like, I've been studying this also, and I've been living, I have experienced this. There's so many people around me that are walking this path, and what's amazing is that I now see it. I didn't even know what narcissist was back in 2018. I started learning what that was because I was like, what is going on with people? Why do I get love bombed and then discarded? These were all brand new terms for me as well. And it's been what, like 6, 7 years since, and I have ran into the same selfish type of person, with low self-worth, low self-esteem, depressed, not a healthy person. And who is the common denominator in this situation? Right here. My lessons were, I had to learn what my worth was, and I had to learn to be okay alone. And I did so many courses, I read so many books, I went to therapy, I listened to hundreds of podcasts. I've spent so much money on myself trying to fix myself and trying to make myself better. And I'm telling you guys that what has really healed me is giving my life to Christ, surrendering. And I finally was able to fill that void that was created for only Him to come and fill. If you have caught yourself with a narcissist personality, it is a disorder. It's a personality disorder. You cannot change this person. There is hope, and the only hope that they have of changing is that they have to come to Christ. Christ is the only being that can change us. And they will go to church with you, they will talk about the Bible, they can even recite verses, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have changed. You have to watch the way their actions, you have to watch, go back to reading Galatians. I have met guys that are all about God and that give back to the needy, but if you see what's happening behind closed doors, it is all a facade, and it is scary. And so um, you will be put in these situations until you take it to Him, put it all down on Jesus' feet and say, I need your help. I finally asked for help after 7 years of running into the same situation and spending hundreds in therapy, hundreds on courses, reading books, And all I could do, and I wasn't a I was a toxic person then, because all my conversations around people was all Debbie Downer stuff. Like, you're not even a happy, healthy person. You're not even a good friend. Why? Because you're wounded. You are unhealed. And you're not enjoying your life. You're living in constant anxiety, trying to figure it out. Guys, I even like changed my appearance. I bought new clothes. I bought new makeup. Like, I look back and I'm just like, wow, that. I mean, I even went as far as buying wigs to try to change my appearance and try to catch, like, well, maybe he's bored of me already. Maybe because the guy had a wandering eye. And it's like, well, and here's the thing, too, when you start listening to like worldly things, they start, like, I had some courses say, well, like, men, this is how men are, they're very visual, and how to get the guy, and play hard to get, like all these gimmicks, all these games. And yeah, it might work for one night, for a few hours, but it puts you back to square one, because a guy that loves Christ, that abides by him, who knows what love is and knows the order of life, like he's supposed to have a relationship with God, he's supposed to love himself, he's supposed to work, he has to have his life together. And if he wants to get with you, he will want to do things the right way. He won't have excuses as to say, well, let's have sex before marriage. I mean, look, everybody's doing it. He wouldn't put that on you. He would want to do things right. He wouldn't be dragging his feet for years. He would actually make plans of a future with you, and he would make you feel safe and secure emotionally. He would want to pray with you. He, like, when you are ready to choose your husband, he's like your pastor. You submit to him. Wherever he goes, you go. Whatever he does, you support him, and you're there for him. You are his helper. So you guys got to be real careful with the type of person that you are just casually dating, or you're thinking about getting married. And this also goes for guys. Like, if you flip this, what kind of woman are you dating? Is she posting half naked photos on the internet? You know she's not going to be true to you. You know that she's not going to respect you. You know that she is seeking attention and validation from other men. And the moment that you go out of town, the moment you're not around, and that photo gets all the likes, and there's a direct message on her social media, a guy says, hey, I really think you're beautiful. I think, you have a really nice body. Why? Because she's showing her body, because she's seeking out that attention. And you have to be smart enough to say, yes, she's a beautiful woman, but uh like, you guys have to, like, it can't be like, what's the word that I'm trying to say, like, mesmerized, like, to the point where you're not being smart. I know you guys want a woman that loves you and respects you and just cherishes you and just dotes over you, and those women do exist. Hello, right here, I'm one of those women, right? And that I was ready to love, I was ready to get married, I was ready to cook, I was ready to have a family. Like, when you find a woman that just wants the normal, regular stuff, like, you guys sometimes don't even see that. If you don't have Christ in your heart, you are more enthralled in the Jezebel spirit. Like, you will be lustful towards, like, all you can see is the beauty of the girl, but you won't see her character. You could almost care less. It's like you are hypnotized. And it goes the same way for women. When you don't have Christ in your heart, you are hypnotized by I go back to the narcissist. The narcissist is buying you stuff. It's like the facade of just barely doing the minimum just to keep you around. You are being hypnotized. And until you uh, give your life to Christ and you take it all to Him and say, I am so tired of this type of life. I'm so tired of jumping on one foot and changing my wigs and changing my outfits, and I'm still not being chosen by this individual. I have no idea what else I'm supposed to do to be loved. All I want to do is I just want to be loved. And He's like, hello, I love you. Don't you know? But you don't, because you don't even have a relationship with them. You don't even have a conversation with them. So that hole remains open, and you're constantly trying to fill it with a relationship, with material nothings. I call them nothings now because the material, like the purses, the perfumes, the trips, it's a bottomless um well, like there's no end to it. You'll get a quick feeling of, oh, I feel important, and then it's empty and you're like, oh, why isn't this enough? Because nothing in this world was designed to fill that hole. And until you heal yourself, until you heal your abandonment wounds, your fear of rejection, your low self-esteem, when you don't know your worth, you're going to be stuck in this loop. This loop will never end. You will not be happy. And you could get rid of the guy and move on to the next guy, but you are still going to create the same reality for you because you are living in this world. And this world is never going to fill or fulfill you the way Christ came and died for us, to show us, I'm the way and I am the light. I'm the life. I will provide everything that you need emotionally and mentally. I will be there for you, but you've got to start connecting with me. And like, if you were raised in a home that didn't have Christ, or maybe you were raised in a home that did have Christ, but you were just lukewarm, it doesn't work that way. You've got to go all in. And it's okay if you have veered off. Start surrounding yourself with friends that love Christ, that know Christ. If you are brand new, like me, I had faith the size of a mustard seed. I didn't know who God was. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want from me, but I really feel you pulling on me. I feel something. I can't explain what it is that I feel. And all I know is that you are the way. I'm going to take your hand, and I'm going to trust you even though I don't know what you want or what you're going to do, but all I know is that I can't be here anymore. I'm literally dying. And there's a verse in the Bible, I believe it's in the book of John, that says that, those that choose not to believe in me will perish. You will die. Your soul dies little by little by little. You become so burdened. You become the heaviness, like you're anxious, you're depressed, you have no purpose, you don't know what it is that you're living for. You see, like you go back to like numbing your pain away through getting drunk or doing drugs, and you live in fear, you live in trauma. Or you can choose to believe in Christ and have living have life back in you, and that's joy, peace, freedom, serenity. Even though there's chaos going on in your life in the real world, maybe you lost your job, maybe that relationship didn't work out, maybe there's an illness, but because you have that living water that never stops, it's continuously feeding you and nourishing you, and you anchor into that, and you remember, oh yes, God, I remember you. I remember that if I need to eat, I read the word, and you feed my soul, you feed my mind, you feed my emotions, and you give me a hope. And I need to continue to trust you and not lean on my own understanding, but know that I can trust you with everything that's happening in my life, because your plans, if I keep following you, I know that your plans are for my good, and you want to prosper me, and you're giving me a hope and a future. All I have to do is believe in you and continue to connect with you, continue to seek you. And sometimes you will be put to the test. And as they say, sometimes the teacher, you know, when you're in a test, the teacher's quiet. You have to do your part too. So um, consider it a blessing that these narcs come into your life, these selfish, self centered people that if you can just wake up to the realities of what is going on and say, why am I faced with this type of personality? It's because they are pushing you into the arms of God. If you finally wake up, stop going to the arms of them, because all they're going to do is suck the life out of you. And it's like they're almost designed to force you to hit rock bottom. And some people are entrapped in these type of relationships for years. And once they get out, they are in years of therapy, years of crying and processing and seeking God. And it's just so mind-blowing when you wake up out of this trance, that the stronghold that the enemy attacks you, this stronghold of the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection, I picture the enemy as literally like on you, and he knows that this is your weakness. So he's like whispering in your ear when you are with a narcissistic person, a very selfish person, and any sign, anything that he can get you off, distract you from connecting with God, he will do it. So let's say you're in a relationship with, a very selfish person that's just dragging their feet, using you, or whatever the case may be. There's so many different examples, but like that selfish person is, they're going to sin against you. They will lie to you, they will manipulate, they will flip it on you, and they will be so good at it because those people also have strongholds on them too. And they are being fed lies, and it's coming out of their mouth. You've got to pay attention to what they say. In the Bible, it says that whatever's in your heart is going to come out of your mouth. And so the way that some of the experiences that I had was, oh, you're just insecure. Like when they would do something bad, they would just say, oh, it's you. They're your insecurities. That's manipulation. That's gaslighting me. Or I lied because I knew that you were gonna get mad. No. And then the enemy will speak into you and say, yeah, they're right. They lied to you because you are insecure. I mean, you have that wound of abandonment. You're unworthy of being loved. Everybody leaves you. Of course he lied. Of course you just have to deal with it, because this is all you're worthy of. And it's like a constant chatter. And the more you are involved in this type of situation, this type of relationship, those strongholds will never let loose until you break free and you break away from that toxicity, so that you can be still, spend time with God, heal, and he will minister to you. He will he will explain everything to you. He will get you out of the confusion, because the longer you are entangled in these type of relationships, the more you feel confused, right? Have you not noticed that? You feel more confused. You like, it's harder to get out, and they like, you start to create problems that are not really there. Like, you think that you don't have enough. You think that you need all like this material stuff to be happy, but you really don't. You need a lot less, but you keep that person around because, well, they're providing, they're providing that first class ticket on the airplane. And, well, if I get rid of them, I'm gonna have to go back to, the regular seating. Yeah, but you're gonna be happy. It doesn't even matter. Once you start walking with Christ, like, you start to realize, like, actually, I'm cool. I'm cool in the regular coach seating, and I don't have to be in first class next to this scary person that doesn't even really love me or respect me, but like does things behind my back that is completely disrespectful, and uh, is killing my spirit. But I'm over here in first class while my soul is dying, and you're being like, you're being confused and convinced that that's actually what matters, that that's actually like, you can't let it go. That's buying into the world. That's buying into like, just the being lustful over material things, or you're choosing money over God. I will say that again. You're choosing money over God, and that's going to pull you away from God. You're giving into the prince of this world. The prince of this world is the darkness, the enemy. But when you choose the prince of peace, you gladly sit and coach. You say, I don't need all that stuff. I need peace. Peace is priceless. You can't buy that. You get that through being in good, healthy relationships that are respectful, that are loving, that are gentle, that are kind, that show you compassion. And you have to get all of that for yourself first. You have to be kind. You have to be gentle. You have to show yourself compassion. Start to fill that hole that's in your heart, and ask God to teach you. God, help me, teach me. And like, if you're in a relationship with a married man, or a man that just can't commit, like, girl, it's never gonna happen. Get out. Get out. You are being lied to. You are believing the lies. And maybe you come from a background where you were taught that that was okay. Maybe all of your girlfriends, maybe your mother lived her life that way. Maybe, like, everyone that like, has that type of lifestyle. And the girls that have less material stuff, they don't even appeal to you. Like, oh my gosh, I see just so many people like buying into the lies, living in material nothings, that they're gonna die, and they're not gonna take any of that stuff with them. And how did they live their life? Being lied to. Like, your soul is not happy. Why would you want anything that like pollutes your soul? No one is worth that. No man, no woman is worth that. You are worth that. That's where it begins. So, if you are tired of running into these situations, and you are ready for your kingdom husband, or I call them kingdom husband and kingdom wife now, because they follow Christ, because they know how dark this world is, and they know that we are living in a world of temptation. And we know that we're going to make mistakes, we're going to fall. And when you're having a hard time, when the guy is having a hard time and he needs comforting, are you choosing a guy that's going to seek comfort in Christ, or comfort in other women? The same with the other way around. You're not always going to have perfect, beautiful days in your relationship. So are you choosing a woman that is going to find comfort in God, in solitude and love, reading her, connecting with God, like asking God to show her how to grow in compassion and love and gentleness and kindness, and asking God, please teach me how to love my husband more, teach me how to be there for him more? Or like, is the type of woman that you're choosing gonna go find comfort in another man? It's your decision, it's your choice. And that's why I'm like, man, I call these people kingdom husbands and kingdom wives now, because they know what's up. They know that we all need help. And when we're out here trying to do life on our own, we will get pulled by the darkness. Every single day, you will be pulled. You will be tested. You will be tempted. So you cannot put your guard down. So if you're with a worldly person, a worldly man, or a worldly woman, who is it that they're anchoring themselves to? They're probably going to anchor themselves to other people, other pleasures, and not God, not live by the Spirit, but they're going to be living by the flesh. And I'm not here to judge or condemn or to be pointing fingers. And I do apologize if I even made it sound that way. I've just woken up and I feel like I live in a completely different planet now. And this is the only way that I can explain it. And I'm still growing and I'm still learning. But know that once you cross to the other side of being able to know your worth and let go of toxicity, and even though you're not cured 100%, but you are choosing yourself and you're choosing Christ every single day. You know what? I choose you, Christ. I don't understand where we're going, but I know that if I choose this, I already know where I'm going and I'm not going to be happy. But trusting you is so scary because I don't know where we're going. I don't know what's over there. So it's like the unknown. And that is why it's hard. That is why it's easy to stay comfortable where we're at. It's you've got to go into the wilderness of of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit's got you. The Holy Spirit saying, come with me, come this way. It's like you feel like you're going into the wilderness where you're not sure what you need to take. You're not sure how it's going to feel or what it's going to be like. Or you can stay in your own little city of comfort here where, well, I know it's toxic here. I already know that he's going to ignore my phone calls, or that she's going to be texting other guys and she might not come home. I already know that. I'll just like chill and watch Netflix until I wait for her to come home. I'm just going to stay over here because it's comfortable, but it's miserable, right? That is why it's hard to go forward and trust God, but you have to do it. You are going to be put to the test. You are going to feel like no one is there, but trust me when I say this, you are being tested. Your faith is being tested. God is not just a genie that, gives you everything you have to put your part in too. You have to do your part too. You cannot be and I've said this before, you cannot be the narcissist in the relationship with God. You can't be the one take, ask, and then ignore and then not follow through. No, you've got to treat God the way you want to be treated too. Be faithful, be loyal, be kind, be loving, be giving. I hope this video served you, and I hope that you are not in a situation like that. And if you are, know that there is a way out. Keep working on yourself. Keep reading the Bible. Keep eating. Keep feeding your soul. And before you know it, you're going to cross to the other side, and you're going to feel so liberated, and you're going to want to share the good news, because you ought to share the good news, because your life will completely change. And it's such a blessing. It's such a good life. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so. If you feel like it, if you feel called to, that would be great. And if you have social media, I'm on Instagram every now and then and on TikTok. Bye.